At first glance, this food delivery business looked healthy. Revenue kept growing month after month. Orders were increasing. Customer acquisition was scaling rapidly. But once I analyzed retention, cohorts, and customer lifetime value, a very different story appeared. This project analyzes customer retention and lifetime value for a multi-city food delivery business operating across Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 Indian cities. Leadership suspected that aggressive discounting and rapid acquisition growth might be masking weak long-term customer behavior. So the goal of this analysis was simple: determine whether revenue growth was actually sustainable. The dataset contains approximately 120,000 food delivery orders across a 24-month period, from January 2023 to September 2025. Using BigQuery SQL, I performed cohort analysis, retention analysis, revenue decomposition, and 90-day lifetime value modeling. Customers were grouped into cohorts based on the month of their first delivered order. This allowed customer behavior to be tracked over time. The first major insight appeared when revenue was decomposed into new customer revenue and returning customer revenue. Returning customers generated more than 46 million rupees in revenue, contributing approximately 73% of total business revenue. Meanwhile, revenue per returning customer was nearly 3 times higher than revenue generated from newly acquired users. This revealed something important. The business was far more dependent on retention than acquisition. The biggest issue emerged during cohort retention analysis. Across nearly all customer cohorts, retention dropped sharply after the first order. Only around 50 to 55% of users returned after month 1. By month 3, retention had collapsed to roughly 12 to 17%. And after 6 months, only about 4 to 7% of customers remained active. In other words, the company was replacing customers faster than it was retaining them. Strong acquisition was compensating for weak customer habit formation. Next, I analyzed 90-day customer lifetime value across cohorts. Earlier cohorts generated more than 2,100 rupees in average customer value. But as acquisition scaled, lifetime value steadily declined and stabilized at lower levels. This suggested that business growth was increasingly being driven by customer volume, not customer quality. Revenue was growing, but long-term customer economics were weakening. I then evaluated the impact of first-order discounts on long-term customer value. Customers acquired without discounts generated approximately 2,040 rupees in 90-day lifetime value. Discount-acquired users generated significantly less, around 1,728 rupees. That's nearly 15 to 18% lower customer value. The analysis suggests that while discounts improved conversion, they also attracted more price-sensitive customers with weaker retention behavior. Customer value also varied significantly across cities. Tier 1 cities like Mumbai, Bangalore, and Delhi consistently generated 30 to 35% higher lifetime value than Tier 2 and Tier 3 markets. This indicated that applying uniform discount strategies across all geographies was likely diluting overall customer quality. Based on the analysis, several strategic recommendations emerged. Reduce blanket first-order discounting in high-performing Tier 1 cities. Invest more heavily in post-first-order retention, especially during the first 14 days when churn risk is highest. Track retention-adjusted growth metrics instead of relying only on top-line revenue. And monitor 30, 60, and 90-day lifetime value trends as leading indicators of customer quality. This project demonstrates how cohort analysis and lifetime value modeling can uncover risks that traditional revenue reporting often hides. Instead of asking how fast the business was growing, the analysis focused on whether that growth was actually sustainable.